Hi there.
Phillip, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a bunch of media folks. Steve is standing by. We have Coach Brown and Shane. So we're going to get going. So we'll begin this officially. Good evening, everybody. I'm Harold Grader. I'm the Associate Executive Director of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game in Memphis. Tonight, we have Steve Earhart, the Executive Director of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on, along with Phillip Fulmer, Athletics Director at the University of Tennessee, as well as Shane Lyons, the Athletics Director at West Virginia, and Head Coach Neil Brown from West Virginia. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Steve to make the formal bowl invitation. Steve?
Well, thank you very much. And this is what we do every year, have the official announcement. I know with the way media works these days, sometimes the old days of going into the locker room, and having the official invite in the locker room and coaches throwing or players throwing the bowl directors around in their pastel jackets are long gone. But we wanted to have this, make it official, have both universities here. And we're so proud. And this is our 62nd consecutive year. We're the 7th oldest bowl game in America. And a lot of you have a history with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And this picture behind me, it's not a mock-up. That's an actual photograph. It's blown up on the wall behind me in our conference room. And we're looking forward on December 31st to hosting two great universities. So this is the official invite to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl to two great universities. And first I'm going to recognize Phillip Fulmer. And those of you who don't know, Phillip Fulmer played in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Phillip, I'll let you talk about which exact year that was, but we have a picture. He was an outstanding, player there for the University of Tennessee, and that game has a lot of memories in it. But we told him we'd be featuring his game photographs in this year's game. So I'll start out with the University of Tennessee. Phillip, I'd like to call on you and say we're issuing you the official invitation to participate in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl against West Virginia on December 31st. Phillip?
Well, thank you, Steve, and thank you, Harold. Our longtime friendship, we just appreciate you so very much, and we're excited to be accepting the bid to come to the Liberty Bowl. It's a great bowl, a great city, super people, and we're very, very excited about seeing our alumni and our friends, particularly with the medical school being there, and it's just going to be a great time. I'd say congratulations to the West Virginia coaches and administration as well. It's going to be a great matchup, and this crazy year that we've all experienced, it's wonderful to be able to end up on New Year's Eve playing in a bowl that has so much tradition and history, and having been a part of it a little bit some years ago, we're very excited about the chance to come back and be a part of all that y'all have done in your history. I do apologize. Also, I should mention Coach Pruitt would certainly be on this call, but unfortunately, he lost his grandfather, and he's down with the family right now. So, apologize for that, and our prayers go out to Coach Pruitt and his family.
Well, Phillip, we appreciate it. Steve, any other comment to Phillip, or we know you're with family and your grandkids tonight, so we'll let you go unless Steve has one final comment for you.
We just thank you. And, Phillip was named to the all-decade teams of the 1970s. So, we'll be showing that picture around. I think that may be on the merchandise sales there, your picture there.
1970. Steve, I have the greatest picture of 2 or 3 of us, the captains, carrying Coach Battle off of the field after our big victory there. So I'll make sure I dig that out and find it, and we'll enjoy that.
There it is. Harold's got it right there. He's on top. Well, thanks,
Harold.
And we know that thank you for taking the time, Coach Fulmer. We know you had to break away from family. So now if we turn it over to Virginia, and so Shane, you and Coach Brown. So again, the official invitation to you to join in and play University of Tennessee on December 31st.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Phillip.
Well, thank you, Steve, and Harold. Thank you for arranging this here tonight, and again, congratulations to both teams. It's a great event. We look forward to the joining the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on the 31st. You know, I also want to say congratulations to Coach Brown and our entire coaching staff on receiving the AutoZone Liberty Bowl bid after a very difficult season and dealing with COVID-19 issues. It's been a season that will be unforgettable as we move forward. And, you know, there's a lot of issues that our student athletes had to face this year. And it's a great opportunity, you know, for them, and really happy for our seniors and our entire program to be able to play one more game. And it'll be exciting to play in the rich history of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. This is our third appearance in the Liberty Bowl and our 38th bowl appearance overall. It's our 17th bowl in the last 19 years. And there's without questions, not only from our experiences of going to the Liberty Bowl, but hearing from others of what a great tradition and outstanding hospitality that teams, including ourselves, always receive when we make the trip to Memphis. So it goes to great lengths with the history of the Liberty Bowl. I believe, Steve and Harold, if I'm correct, it's the 7th oldest bowl game that's out there. So it's been around for a long, long time. 1970 with Coach Battle coaching and Coach Fulmer carrying them off the field. That shows you how long it's been around. But you know, what a great opportunity for us to be able to join you all. You know, without question, our team has continued to show great improvements this year, and we're excited about our future. We know we have a great challenge ahead of us playing a tradition-rich SEC program in Tennessee. And I know the AutoZone Liberty Bowl will provide a great matchup for the college football bowl season as we move forward. So, you know, I'm really excited, you know, not only for our team, you know, for our staff and administration of going through this season, but I'm also excited for our fans. You know, Memphis is a drivable destination for them, and I hope our fans will consider supporting our team and spending New Year's Eve in Memphis. So thank you all again for the opportunity to come and play in your great bowl, and we look forward to it.
Coach Brown?
Thanks, Shane. On behalf of our players and staff, we are very excited to accept the bowl invitation to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We look forward to getting to Memphis and not only playing in a bowl that has just a ton of tradition, a game that I grew up watching and appreciating, but also playing a tradition-rich team like Tennessee. And know several guys on that staff and really respect the job that they do. And we're going to make sure this is a rewarding experience. Heard great things about the AutoZone Liberty Bowl and how you take care of the teams and the fans. We've only played one game since November 21st. So our guys are excited to get back. We'll use this week to kind of get back in the flow and then start preparations for Tennessee. But we're a group that's excited to get in the postseason and ready to play football and very appreciative of the opportunity.
Well, Neil, I'll say this, in addition to the great history that we have, and we have a great pride in the players and coaches that have been on the sidelines at our game. Just a special note for you, since this is your first bowl game at West Virginia, we have a real great track record with coaches in new jobs coming here for their first bowl game and coming away with wins. It goes back to Urban Meyer when he was at Utah, Gary Patterson at TCU, Kirby at Smart at Georgia, all in their first bowl games at those schools have come here and won. And, you know, then you see what happened to all those guys. I think they've done pretty good for themselves. So we'll see what happens with you and your team on the 31st.
Yeah, Harold, we'll take all the good vibes we can get. You know, we want to continue to get back healthy and be ready to play some football. So we'll take any good vibe you're sending our way. We'll take it.
And with that, I know Grant from West Virginia is the gatekeeper on all of this. We'll open it up to questions. We'll ask the media to use the raise hand feature of on Zoom, and we'll get to your questions for Shane and for Coach and Steve.
I'm not sure how that feature works. The only thing I can see your face.
All right, we have our first question here from Jason. Go ahead, Jason.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is Jason Munns with the Commercial Appeal. Steve, this question is for you. Given, everything's changing so fast, especially here, even just today. So wanted to see what attendance will look like for the game.
That's a good question, Jason. We've been in touch with all the governmental authorities, and we've been cleared to it's going to be approximately 12 to 13,000 fans in attendance. It's about 20% of the 57,000 at the stadium. There'll be socially distancing. We have tickets available. We have enough certainly set aside for the teams, their parents, the families, and the supporters of each university. And we're selling tickets now, and we have some skyboxes as well. But to say with what you say is correct, but we've been cleared. There'll still be masking required, and then the social distancing, 6 foot. So we have pods of 2, 4, and 6 people there set around the stadium.
All right, your next question here comes from Kevin Kinder. Go ahead, Kevin.
This question's for Steve also. How is the selection process of teams different this year? I understood that, proximity obviously played a little bit bigger part in this, but were there other factors involved and, with the teams kind of being announced an hour and a half apart?
Not a lot different than years past. Like the delay of 2 weeks, certainly that makes it the time crunch, and we appreciate we have to move very quickly, both with all the university staff and their administrators and getting things done here in the next 10, 11 days. But in the SEC, it's a pool type arrangement. There's what's called the SEC pool of there's 6 of us bowls, the Outback, the Gator, Nashville, Houston, and then we work together with the league on their assignments. In the Big 12, it's a little bit more different. It's more on an order there. We go through with the Alamo, the Orlando, and so on. So it was pretty similar to years past, except it was just delayed by a couple of weeks. But we're proud. It was 7 years ago, I think, Shane, when West Virginia was here, and so it's good that here we are cycling about the right time to have West Virginia back at our game again.
We have a question from Cody Nesper. Go ahead, Cody.
This is for Neil. You mentioned you've only played once since the end of November. Did that kind of go into the decision to still play in a bowl? Obviously, there's a lot of teams that could play in a bowl that are opting out.
No, we've got a really young football team, Cody, and our guys are excited about it. Unfortunately for our seniors also, they didn't have a traditional senior day due to the Oklahoma game getting canceled twice, and so we're using this game as a way to salute our seniors as they exit, those that are leaving. So now those were the decisions. Our kids were ready to play, and they got a little time off and really came back with a lot of energy and looking forward to get back on the field.
We have a question from Blake Topmeyer. Go ahead, Blake. And just a reminder to use the raise hand feature if you guys do have a question.
Yeah, Steve, I just wondered, how long has Tennessee been on the wish list for the Liberty Bowl, and is it bittersweet at all that it comes in a year with, amid a pandemic where there is some attendance restrictions? Well,
you're right. Tennessee certainly, part of our state. Of course, we're on the very far, west side of the state, and Knoxville is over on the other side of the state, actually closer to West Virginia. But, it has been 34 years since Tennessee was in the game. And so I'm not sure we've been wishing, but certainly we've had great appearances there. Tennessee's actually 3-0 in the history of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Isn't that correct, that Tennessee's 3-0? So I think Archie Manning reminds me that Ole Miss has the record being 4-0, and Bear Bryant was only 2-2. So, but no, we've certainly been in touch with Tennessee, and as Coach Fulmer mentioned, there's a great presence here in Memphis with the pharmacy school, the medical school, the nursing school, and there's an awful lot of employees right here in Memphis that are part of the UT system. So, we certainly, we've been in touch with Tennessee. I've been doing this for 26 years, and I think most every year we've had some kind of conversations with UT.
And then a question for Neil, if I may. Neil, I know it was before your time there at West Virginia, but these teams did play in 2018 in Jeremy Pruitt's first season as coach. Do you use that game much at all in preparation, or is that not really relevant to these teams? And also just some more of your impressions on what you see from this Tennessee team.
Yeah, well, just finding out who we're going to play, I don't have a whole lot of impressions just because I haven't had the opportunity to watch them. I have them on the screen behind me here, but I know they'll be really well coached. Known Jeremy for a while just because we had some time together on the road recruiting and stuff. The guy that Todd Watson is on the staff there, who was on our staff for 3 years at Troy, and Derek Ansley and I worked together at Kentucky, so familiar with those guys. And like I said, really respect what they've done, not only this year but in their career. As far as the 2018 game, we won't reference back to that. I know that it was the first game of the season. It may have been. Was it the first game that Coach Pruitt coached? I think it was.
It was.
Yeah, and honestly, we just didn't have very many players that are still on our team that played in that game. I would bet there's less than 10 that actually played a key role, maybe even as low as 5. I don't know. I'm kind of speaking off the cuff, but no, we won't reference that game.
Next question from Kevin Kinder. Go ahead, Kevin.
Question for Coach Brown. Have you started to lay out a practice schedule yet to have an idea of the number of practices you'll get in? And will you split things up again? I know you'd like to get some developmental work in for your younger players.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at my calendar. That's what I was doing there, Kevin. What we plan on doing is we've had light workouts the last 2 days, and we had that break where we paused activities for a week. So we had 2 light workouts, and then we'll continue with 2 more kind of lightish workouts, trying to get our guys back in the flow, and then we'll get into game prep. And that's kind of what it looked like. We'll get into it. We won't tackle with our younger guys just because we're planning on playing several of them in the game, and a lot of them have been playing already. But we will do some simulated scrimmages toward the end. We'll be right around that 9 or 10 practice, just depending on how it falls.
We have a question from Mike Kazaza. Go ahead, Mike.
This is for Neil. Kind of similar. I'm imagining with the holiday, it sounds like you're not going to break at all there. Is that so? And then just for you and for, I don't know if it's morale or planning or development, whatever, it seemed like the game could have been the 26th or the 31st, depending on where you landed. Is there a difference, better, worse, between playing one early and one late?
No, we kind of understood coming into the scenario just by the games that we could potentially fall into, that we were going to play on the 26th or the 31st. I think playing on the 31st is probably better for us just because we had that extended break, and we need probably a little bit more time to kind of get back in the flow of playing. I think morale is huge in these games without question, and we got several goals for any bowl, this bowl in particular, and one of them is to have a fun, rewarding, memorable experience. And so, this is not a typical year, so we'll do some things here to make it. It's not going to be we won't treat this like fall camp or spring ball or anything like that. We're going to get ourselves ready. We'll get some good work for our young people, but once we get back into the flow and going against each other, we'll get into our Tennessee prep with the expectation of playing well on the 31st, because the last time we played, we did not play very well. And I don't think that was a good representation of who we've been during this 2020 season. And we want to respond and finish in the right way.
Go ahead and take a question from Keenan Cummings. Go ahead, Keenan.
This is for Neil. Neil, obviously Scotty Young today said he was going to be eligible. How does he fit into the picture with you guys? I know he's obviously been on the scout team. How does he work in? What position does he play?
Yeah, we're going to get him ready to play. The NCAA passed the rule last week that allowed all transfer. I don't remember what the exact verbiage of it was, but it's going to allow Scotty Young to play, who was sitting out the year. He's had a tremendous year, very similar. He and Alonzo Dye, what Alonzo did a year ago, he was on the scout team and scout special teams and really made himself a better football player, and it's showing. I think he earned second team all Big 12 honors. And, Scotty has had that same type of year. We've moved him all over the place. He's had a great attitude. He's changed his body going through our developmental squad. And he's got the ability to play safety and spear. And he will play. He'll be active on special teams. He will play on defense, and excited for him. I think it's a good kind of intro for him going into the 21 season.
Do we have any more questions? Yep. Go ahead, Cody.
Neil, we saw that Tony announced he's not going to play in the bowl game. Is there anybody else that that's going to not participate?
I don't. No, Tony at this point is the only one that's communicated that. We've got, like I said, we're into practice mode, and my anticipation is that everyone else will play that aren't injured.
We'll take one more question here from Kevin Kender, then I'll send it back to Harold. Go ahead, Kevin.
One final question for Steve. What will the bowl experience be like? I know you obviously have to limit a lot of those things. Are teams coming to town the day before, 2 days before? How's that going to work?
Well, you're right. It won't be the long 5 to 6 day stay. And as Coach said, we want to try and do a few special things while they're here and make it a good, memorable experience. And that's what we found over the years for the young men, especially the seniors. They always remember that last game, and what happened, and the camaraderie of their teammates. And so that's what we'll try and do. And we haven't, obviously, it's only been a few hours here. We haven't had a chance to really talk with Coach about the kinds of things we can do here. But it will be a shorter stay, that's for sure.
All right, Harold, if you want to go ahead and wrap it up here.
All right. Well, thank you, Grant. Neil, thank you. Shane, thank you. Coach Fulmer, we know you're gone, but we appreciate Coach Fulmer jumping on tonight. We'll be sending out credential information. You can apply for credentials online on our website. There's a media portal there. And if we have any further Zoom press conferences, we'll keep everybody posted on that. And again, we look forward to having the Mountaineers and the Vols in the 62nd AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So we appreciate everyone joining us tonight. Good night.